Hello and welcome. I'm Jess Campman's Guided by Equus, and this is your Horse Wisdom Insights for the week of July 6th. I'm here with Einie and Fancy and Coast right there, and Sadie, Stormy, and Scarlet. In an interesting unfolding of events that kind of happened today, which I feel like actually tie into this week. Coast and Fancy and Einie broke out of their pasture area that was electric fence, potentially from the lightning and thunderstorm we had last night. And we loaded them up and brought them home. And an interesting piece to this is a few days before that, when I went to visit them and just check on them, I got this sense of the best way I can say it is, it felt like they were needing something. They were located in my pasture area that probably I would consider the best location for them, and yet there was something that it felt like they needed. And so this breaking free and lightning feels like a flash of insight, and the rainstorm is like emotions and emotion, and now they're all together in this kind of muddy corral, and yet they're home, and almost like something's needing to be acknowledged this week. So all of those pieces feel like they're coming into play. And another interesting piece to this too is Fancy, when I dropped the three of them into here, there was kind of some challenges and some scuffling, and Fancy's one hind leg, she's now kind of packing it around a little bit. She's okay, but she's standing out here, and those three whose home this was are busy eating, and Coast is over there off by himself, and Einie is just finally resting after all of this energy that's been taking her into a whole new environment and space for most of the day. And the last part of the puzzle, I don't know if it's a puzzle, but Coast let it on the trailer, but Fancy didn't want to, and we kind of had to get them home. So Fancy and Einie trotted behind the trailer for the couple-mile drive home. And Fancy was fine with that, and Einie kind of had to be fine with that, and then ended up here. So it's been a full day of moving around and relocating, and finding a new herd, and having to readjust to all of these things that are coming into play this week. And so just kind of taking a breath on that, if I kind of help relate this back a little bit more, this flash of insight in relationship to coming home to something that needs to be acknowledged, and creating kind of an emotional turbulence that is messy, kind of like this corral, and yet when we come and find ourselves deep in it, and we, at some point we just lie down and rest and ground ourselves with it, there's a new, that word placement that's coming, a new, like a reconciliation and a placement of this piece of the puzzle that I've kind of been speaking of, that is coming to light in terms of a breaking out, a breakthrough, what feels like emotional freedom as this piece gets to be acknowledged this week. So that's interesting to me, and I love, again, how these horses help all of this come through. I couldn't do it without them. So I would love to hear how this feels relative to your own unfolding. And if there's one more piece that feels like it really wants to be offered, I guess it's this, what Einie feels like she's representing right now, is this ability to lean into and feel supported by something that we didn't even expect ourselves to find. And one last piece is that when foals often will shed their foal coat, And so Aini has started to do that. But what it's revealing is a layer of white hair. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's something that I've never actually witnessed before. And I know her color is Palomino, and she's got the white mane and tail coming through. But in her actual coat, her hair color, even though she's a dark base, kind of, as you can see around her eyes and stuff, there's this white that's coming through. So it's like this lightness, even though everything right now maybe feels messy and heavy and like there's wounds and we're having to pack those wounds around and really feel them. But it's really just being able to become vulnerable, I guess, with them. So thank you, Aini and Fancy and Coast, for initiating this week, and all of the herd. And yeah, I would love to hear where you guys are at with all of this too. So much love for myself and all of these horses here. And we will be in touch next week.